Well, the Chale Community Project is a community-led project. It's something new for the UK really in terms of sustainability. The government was looking to find a way to take forward sustainability across the country and really doesn't understand how that might be done, but had this idea that it might be done if you did it at the community level. Lots of things have been done in the past, but they've all been sort of top-down, nationally driven programmes by government departments. The Chale Community Project is very much about a community-led sustainability project.
How is it community-led?
Well, it's a group of people from across the community, a small group, plus one or two from outside the village. But the main players in it are, we have a village partnership here. So the chairman of the village partnership is a member of the steering group. I chair the steering group. We have two residents from within Spanners Close on the steering group, and that way we conceive that we actually can represent the whole village. The organisations that are involved that have come together are the Chale Parish Council, which is reacting really to the research it's done in the community over many years, which shows that this community is particularly interested in its environment. It's in the AONB, that's very important to it. It also brings together the Southern Housing Group and its subsidiary here, South White Housing Association, which is the largest property owner in this village. It brings together the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. Ellen's foundation is new, but she set this up to take forward her thoughts and ideas in a practical way on sustainability, and there are a number of other partners involved. Well, it started off, all the organisations I've mentioned were talking about sustainability in one way or another, and a chap called David Green saw the possibility of getting some money from the Department of Energy and Climate Change under a grant scheme they were offering. They were going to offer 20 grants of up to £500,000 each around the country. David thought Chale fitted the bill precisely, and it was he who came to Chale, talked to the Parish Council, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and then the Ellen MacArthur Foundation put in the application, and we succeeded and were awarded £500,000.
So you talk about it being a sustainability project. What does that actually entail in practice?
What it entails is really building on what Chale has a strong tradition of. It has a strong tradition of self-reliance. I mean, you only have to live out here to realise how often the power goes off. And people around here have always tended to look inwards to themselves and supporting themselves rather than outwards for somebody else to look after them. Building on all of that, and at the same time providing support to people to understand how they can live in a better way, a more comfortable, warmer way. And to help us with that, we've got the Footprint Trust. Everybody knows the Footprint Trust, strong local charity. And Footprint are visiting every household in Chale to help with provide people with advice and provide them with access to things they don't know about, like the grants that are available for low-cost insulation. So they're being very successful. So you'll see a lot of cavity and loft insulation being done around the village, and a lot of that's being done at very low cost for people, or even for free for older people. Within that sort of wider picture, there's a particular focus where the grant money is going, which is within the Spanners Close estate. Now, what we're looking to do there is, you've got a community area where people have generally got lower incomes. The choice during the winter is between heating and eating. There's no question about that. I mean, and those houses are very cold. They're very typical 1970s buildings. They're quite spacious, they're quite pleasant, and they're quite pleasant in the summer, but in the winter they are just very cold. So the money from DEC is going on upgrading those with air-to-water heat pumps. This is a fairly modern technology. There are various options, but that's the one we've been advised is probably the most optimal given both the amount of money we've got and the houses as they are. In addition, South White Housing is also upgrading the insulation level in those buildings. So whilst all those homes in Spanners Close meet the government's decent home standards, in fact, to make the air source heat pumps really effective, we need to upgrade it from that. So South White Housing, part of the Southern Housing Group, is in fact replacing the windows in there and checking to make sure that all of the existing insulation is as good as it needs to be to make the air source heat pumps efficient.
So what's the timescale of this project?
The initial phase is 3 years, although having said that, the work in Spanners Close will be completed during this summer.
And how did the community respond to the idea? How did you get buy-in?
The community is very interested in this whole area. We know this from the work that the Parish Council's done with questionnaires around the community, both for the Chale Parish Plan and for the Chale Village Design Statement, that people are very interested in this issue. People are very aware of where they live around here, that they are living in the AONB, that they are aware of where food comes from. It's not like living in the middle of a city somewhere. You're very aware. People have that sense that they ought to perhaps look at what more they could do. In the short term, one of the things we can do, however, is roll it out wider across the Isle of Wight with some of the opportunities that become available as we implement the project. Now, one of those has been work we've been doing with EGA on the installation of photovoltaics. And the plan is that we will install photovoltaics on all of the houses where it's possible in Spanners Close and the glebe, and that will provide free electricity to the residents there. And we're hoping that we'll be able to roll that out not only to the rest of Chale, to all the social housing in Chale, but also to all the social housing on the Isle of Wight. That's what we're trying to do. Whether we'll be successful in that, we don't know. But that would obviously reduce electricity bills substantially for people on the island.
And what is the Community Sustainability Fund? How's that working?
Well, one part of what we do under the government's regulations will make sure that we receive income from that £500,000 investment by way of I suppose you could call it a tax break, starting in 2011, assuming it doesn't get changed by the new government coming in the meantime. Now that, plus some of the solar voltaic feed-in tariffs, will go into a fund for the whole community. The Community Interest Fund will invest in future sustainability projects across the village over the coming years.
The council came up with their eco-island idea. How do you see this fitting in with that initiative?
Well, we hope in the project that one of the things that people will take from it is an understanding of what might be done elsewhere on the island. As I said earlier, we're fitted into the Eco-Island project as part of the Green Towns pilot, so we will be measuring the sort of things that that's measuring. The Green Towns project has been set up by the Isle of Wight Council and there are 3 towns in the pilot, Chale being a town for this purpose, along with Brading and Shanklin. The idea is to develop a set of measures right across the board, so everything from waste right through to electricity and water use, water being something particularly important because of the amount of power it uses. Right across all of those things, a set of standard measures which will then be adopted by towns as they wish to join the project. So we're starting on that. We're looking to see where we start. Finding out where we are now is quite difficult, and then see how we progress on those measures over the years to come.
So looking forward, what are your hopes and ambitions for the Chale Community Project?
I want this project to deliver for the people here, number one. I'd like people to live warmer, comfortable, pleasanter lives than they do at the moment. I'd like this to bring the community even closer together than it is now. So it is a fairly well-knit community, but I'd like it to be even better knit together. And then I'd like it, beyond that, to be seen as a national example of what can be achieved by something that's led by the community.